Hi Aries, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling with these astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have 5 and 5th house energy for you guys is Leo. Astrologically speaking, there's not really going to be anything going on there, but could be a focus on that area of your life this month. And Leo or 5th house energy points to romance, creativity, children. Alright, we have Jupiter, and of course Jupiter has been in your sign for a bit. It's actually retrograding back into Pisces in October, but of course there could be an impact there. And we have Taurus. So Taurus is actually your second house, and usually second house energies is possession, self-worth, finances, and we've had Uranus there and the North Node there for a long time as well. So those could be some areas of focus this month, but we'll move on to the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the 7 of Cups, Scorpio energy. Challenging that, we have the 6 of Swords, Aquarius energy. So 2 fixed energies here. This could just be saying that you might have a lot of options around a certain situation, and you might find yourself having a little bit of difficulty trying to make the best decision in the situation. And with this coming up as a challenge card, I feel like this is saying that the best bet would for you to actually be to take some quiet time away, to really let your mind settle and figure out what your next best step should be. But for whatever reason, you might have some reluctance to do that, right? So that's what I see with that. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the 2 of Cups. So this is a Cancer energy here, and usually, of course, people tend to jump right to romance when they look at the artwork here, but this can point to just a general meeting of the minds, different types of partnerships. So that could be what's at play for you guys this month. Maybe actually cross paths with someone where you feel like you're on the same page around something, whether it be romance or otherwise. Alright. In the past position, we have the Sun. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that in the past you might have actually had a lot of optimism and just, well, I almost wanted to use the word blind faith, right? But almost like this real curiosity where you just went for things, right? Didn't give it much thought. Because if we look at the artwork there, of course, we see just a young child on the horse there. So to me, that's, well, there we go. Now it's focused. But yeah, so that could be what that's representing, which is to just say in the past you might have just jumped at opportunities, right? When they came to you, you didn't actually overthink things. So now that could be a bit of a change with that as far as that goes. So that could be a bit of a shift for you guys. And in the present position, we have the Strength card. So yeah, this is another indicator that going from that energy that I mentioned there in the past, where you might have just jumped into things impulsively, now it looks like you're actually being a lot more measured in your decision making. So look at the artwork there, it looks like she's attempting to close the lion's mouth there, right? So sometimes to me that could represent passion, libido, sometimes ego as well, right? So I feel like this is you guys actually just trying to be measured around your decision making. And like I said, that could be why there's some reluctance to make a decision right now. Alright, in the near future position, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So yeah, and this could be part of what's fueling your decision-making process too, right? You might just really be thinking about what's best for all parties involved. So that could be, so it could be one of those things where not only are you factoring your own wants and needs around the situation, but you're factoring the wants and needs of the other person or people as well, right? Now, if this is around finances too, this could just be saying that you might see an improvement there. All right. In the position of your influence in a situation, we have the 3 of Cups. So this is definitely a bit of a celebratory energy, more Cancerian energy coming up here too. So I feel like this is saying that you guys actually will be making a decision around the situation, and there's probably going to be a bit, at least at the minimum, a sense of relief around it, right? Because with the 7 of Cups energy we see in the main situation, that could definitely be a bit overwhelming and draining mentally. So it looks like you guys will be making a decision. Possibly this could point to reconnecting with people from your past as well, whether it be long-term friends that you've had or siblings, family members. But yeah, that's what I see with that. All right, in the environment position, we have the Seven of Wands. So it looks like you might face some resistance as well, right? So even though we see the celebratory energy there, if we look at the Seven of Wands energy here, it could just be saying that whatever the situation is around, right? Like if you get some kind of elevated status this month around a certain area, looks like there might be some people who are going to envy that spot as well. So that's something to just be mindful of right there, that there could be a little bit of conflict there. You guys have Mars in your house communication for pretty much the rest of the year. Not to mention we're clearing up retrograde energy, so there could definitely be, some communications that might seem a bit intense in that regard. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Ace of Wands and the King of Cups. So yeah, it definitely looks like there's definitely a desire for a fresh start in some area for you guys. For some of you, it could even just be around intimacy, and for some of you, that could be what you're trying to tame there, right? Like maybe you just have a really strong libido this month, and you're trying to keep that under wraps for whatever reason. But yeah, that's what I see there. It looks like there's definitely a desire to start something fresh on your part. For some of you, it could be financially motivated as well, like some kind of investments or something along those lines. But looks like there's definitely a desire for a fresh start on your part. And for some of you, might be saying that as we get closer to Scorpio season, since this is a Scorpio card, that could be when you actually do take action. All right, in the outcome position, we have the Chariot. So this is the major arcana card for Cancer. Interesting that there's a lot of Cancer energy in your spread this month. But yeah, to me, this represents taking action, right? So for some of you, this could be travel, like I was mentioning. For some of you, that Seven of Cups energy with the Six of Swords challenge, and it could just be saying that you might just need to get away from the fray and clear your minds for a little bit. So that could be what some of you ultimately decide to do. And given that we see the Three of Cups there, like I said, it looks like you will eventually make a decision around the situation, and it will be a successful decision at that. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing with that. All right, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Wands. So yeah, this could just be saying that there might be just conflict within a certain area of life right now where everyone just has their own perspective and no one's really interested in collaboration, right? They just want to be quote unquote right. And now I do have to say, to be fair, for some of you, this could even represent your inner thoughts around the situation too, right? Maybe you're overwhelming yourselves with the different pathways you could take. But that's what I see with that. All right, moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have be impeccable with your word. There we go. And it says create a beautiful dream. All right, so let's see what the actual message says. Okay, it says your word can create the most beautiful dream, or your word can destroy everything around you. Impeccability of the word only creates beauty, love, and heaven on earth. So yeah, speaking of impeccability of the word, that does make me think of, like I was saying, that we're having a Mercury retrograde cycle that will be wrapping up, and the post-shadow period will be wrapped up around the third week of October. And like I said, you guys are going to have Mars in your house communication for an extended period through the rest of the year, and it's going to start a retrograde toward the very end of October too. So communication would definitely be significant for you guys this month. All right, moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Between Worlds. There's the artwork, and the number there is 3. So we'll see what this is about. Okay, the essential meaning says transitions, not being quite out of one situation and fully engaged in another, temporary blindness, no man's land. The Oracle's message, between the worlds is where you must let go of the tendency to make assumptions. This is a time when you are unable to see what is ahead. Cultivate curiosity and trust the process of change and growth. You are done learning the lessons of recent experiences. In this place, between what was and what will be, is a state of making and unmaking and making again. What is essential now is to admit not knowing. There is great freedom and power to be unleashed. A mystery that is not yours to understand weaves the web of life within a divine matrix of consciousness greater than your own thoughts, feelings, beliefs, desires, and decisions. The seeds that were planted in the past begin to take root, but what surfaces will probably not be what you expect. When you are between the worlds, you are invited to see with the curious eyes of a child glimpsing a rainbow for the first time. Do so and you will not be disappointed. So interesting when it references the eyes of a child there, because we were talking about in the sun, with the sun energy in the past, and in the past you guys might have been more willing to jump into situations, and now you might find yourselves overthinking them for whatever reason. But hopefully it resonated with you. Okay, the relationship message says this is a time to explore the energy between you and another. It is not a moment for certainty, but rather for discovery and curiosity. You don't yet know if this will last forever, so allow yourself to explore who you are and what is reflected back to you. This relationship is meant to educate you about yourself. What do you need? What do you like or dislike? What values are important to you? You are in a critical phase of your relationship that is not to be dismissed or hurried. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. Like I was saying, it looks like this month you might have some potential to cross paths with someone where you might feel like you have a meeting of the minds in that regard. And um, yeah, and then not to mention you guys are going to have a lot of energy in your opposite sign of Libra in October too. So, Venus will be there, Mercury's going to be there, the Sun obviously. So lots of energy in your seventh house of relationships that can help get things off the ground there too. The prosperity message says in your work, sometimes you try things that have worked for others, hoping that you too will be successful. When this symbol appears, it reminds you that sometimes the path to your prosperity is a gamble. Win or lose, you can learn much from what comes of your wager. It's a good time to bet on your skills and talents in new and different arenas. Remain curious, and with the right combination of timing and luck, you will stumble upon something golden that will be unlike anything you've known before. So definitely a pretty interesting message there as well. And that could definitely be, to me, part of that influence of the Jupiter energy too. Like I said, it's going to be going back into Pisces during the month of October, but then eventually it's going to come back into your sign once the retrograde's over, and you'll be able to revisit things at that time too. All right, so moving on to your Mudra card. This is your Mudra here. It's the Manipura Chakra Mudra, and the keyword for it is willpower. Let's see, we have to focus. All right, there we go. So if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, you can. But under benefits, it says strengthens digestion, improves the health of the liver, gallbladder, spleen, stomach, pancreas, and small and large intestine, bolsters willpower, improves martial ability, increases personal magnetism. So if that sounds like a Mudra thing, be beneficial for you guys. I will put the name in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.